Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. In today's video, I'm making this fun fall cupcake card using products from Pretty Pink Posh. Here's a look at the main products I'll be using for my card. Pretty Pink Posh's Big Fall Cupcake Die Set, the Sentiment Fall Script. I also have their Eyelet Rectangles die set. And I will be using pattern paper. This is from $49 in Marcotte. It's the Krafty Garden collection. And I have both the 12x12 and the 6x8 size. And if you are interested in any of the products I use in this video, I do have links in the description box below. And I'll also add a link for Pretty Pink Posh's brand new fall release. For the background of my card, I have this tone-on-tone blue pattern paper. I'll layer it on some dark brown pattern paper, put adhesive on the back, and add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. Now I'll set aside the card and start assembling the fall cupcake. Pretty Pink Posh has a fun assortment of cupcake die sets. This new fall edition is one of my favorites since I love making fall cards. Most of the die cut pieces I did use pattern paper. I have some pattern paper for the cupcake wrapper. I did use some solid brown cardstock for the actual cupcake portion, but for the frosting, this is more of the pattern paper from the $49 and Marcotte collection. Since it's a fall cupcake, I decided this is pumpkin flavored with cream cheese frosting. For this wavy little scallop piece, I thought this pattern paper was perfect since it looks like it has little sprinkle splatters on it. For the icing, maybe it's a glaze. I used some pearlescent cardstock from my stash, this light tan color. Maybe it's a caramel flavor. I think that would go well with pumpkin. The die set includes lots of fun pieces to decorate your cupcake. You can make a little turkey. You could have a baked turkey. There's little pie pieces, leaves. For my cupcake, I decided to decorate it with lots of sunflowers. I used more pattern paper for the sunflowers, and I cut out 2 layers of petals. I wanted my sunflowers to be nice and full. I'll offset them slightly so you'll be able to see all those different layers of petals. For the very center of the sunflower, I'm using some dark brown cardstock. While I was waiting for the glue to dry for the cupcake, I did put a piece of double-sided adhesive tape on the back. I'll remove the release paper. I will pop up the cupcake using foam dimension. I'm using scrapbook.com's 1/4 inch foam in the 1 millimeter thickness. I'll make sure to get good coverage on the back. And I'll be adding the cupcake on an Eyelet Rectangle die cut, and I use some Vellum for that rectangle. Without adhesive, I'll lay the rectangle on the front of the card. I'll remove the release paper from the foam, add the cupcake on the center of the Eyelet Rectangle. Now I'll flip it over, put glue on the back, making sure only to add glue behind the cupcake. I don't want any of the glue to show through on the vellum. Then I'll place a large acrylic block on top, let that sit for a few minutes while the glue dries. Now I'll add the 3 sunflowers, and I am popping them up using some black foam squares. For one of the sunflowers, I'm adding a 1/2 piece of foam, since part of the sunflower will be sitting on the cupcake wrapper. I'll put that sunflower in the lower right-hand corner. The other 2 sunflowers will go on the left side of the cupcake, more on the frosting area, and a little bit on the top of the wrapper. Next, I'll add the leaves and foliage pieces, tucking them underneath the sunflowers. I'll start with the flower in the lower right-hand corner, and I am trimming off the very end of the leaf where it has the stem, since it won't be visible and it's easier to tuck it underneath the sunflower. I'm doing the same thing with the foliage pieces, but instead I'm just tearing off that very bottom stem area and maybe one of those tiny leaves. I'll add 2 of the leaves, 1 of the foliage pieces, and I did use more of the pattern paper for the leaves and foliage pieces. To help keep all of my die cut pieces organized and to make sure I don't lose them, I have them stored in one of Scrapbook.com's stack and sort trays. This is the smaller size. Now I'll add 2 of the foliage pieces behind the sunflowers on the left side, and then 3 of the leaves. And again, I'll trim off that stem portion. That way I can easily tuck them underneath the sunflower. I'm also curling up the very end of the leaf, so I'm not adding any glue there. Gives it a little more dimensional look. And one final leaf to add. And behind that final leaf, since most of it is off of that cupcake area, I will put some foam dimension behind it. For a sentiment, I'm simply adding the word fall. This is a new sentiment die set from Pretty Pink Posh. I cut it out from some dark brown cardstock. I'm adding it at the bottom of the cupcake, and the very left side of the F is going off the edge of that wrapper. I'm also tucking the very end of the last L underneath the sunflower in the lower right-hand corner. And the top area of the F will sit on one of the leaves. In that wider spot of the F, I did add a tiny piece of foam dimension. For embellishments, I'm adding some Ivory Pearls. These are from Pretty Pink Posh. I'll put 3 in the upper right-hand corner and 2 in the lower left-hand corner. I'll first add a small drop of Barely Art glue. Pick up the pearls using Scrapbook.com's Craft Pro Pick tool. I'm using the wax tip end. Then I'll press the pearls in place. I think the ivory color looks so pretty with the pattern paper designs. And I don't notice it right now, but there is a loose pearl sitting underneath one of the sunflowers. I'll find that here in just a moment. For a final finishing touch, I'm adding a little bit of sparkle to the center of the 3 sunflowers using a clear glitter brush marker from Scrapbook.com. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. I love how this card turned out. Sunflowers are so pretty. Usually I go with brighter colors for fall, but I thought this card would be perfect with some softer colors. I think the softer colors give the card a very country look. If you are interested in any of the products I used in this video, I do have links in the description box below. I'm also participating in Pretty Pink Posh's blog hop to help celebrate their new fall release. There's lots of inspiration from the design team and guest designers, plus a chance to win a Pretty Pink Posh gift card. For more information, head on over to my blog, and I do have a link in the description box. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.